Have you had serious talks with an Italian team or not?
Yes, we've had. We still have some Italian interest, which is not the team. It's more on the sponsorship side, and this is still relevant, but it's with an international team. So it's an Italian interest with an international team, and we're still having this discussion even this week.
Yeah.
And if that happens, it will be good for Italy because it will be an Italian company involved. However, this is 50-50, can go, it cannot go, it can be next race. But we have a team that is going to announce in the near future who has an Italian interest from the sponsor. So, and probably there will be Italian sailors because of that.
Okay.
So this is, I think for me, we have to be realistic with Italy because Italy has not really been involved for many years, and I think the first step for me is to get some Italian sailors. And you almost have to take it a little bit step by step because to think that we're just going to get an Italian boat now, I mean, now it has been very difficult because of the economy and everything has been tough. I think what Italy has to do is to form a group of serious people. Maybe some sailors, but some commercial people, some from maybe a club, one of the sailing clubs, to decide for a group of only people who are good and only people who wants to commit and try to do this, and they have to start working. Come to us, start working with us, make plans and preparations, and not tell anybody about this project before you have really made a deal. And I think not buy boats, not announce anything. Just work on the project, on the financial side. Use the next Volvo Ocean Race to bring guests to the ports from Italy, and we can even help with that from our side to engage them, to involve them, and two of the teams we will have in the next race comes from this kind of work, exactly like this. One team that has not been announced, and one of the announced teams comes from a group working really hard at bringing the people to the stopovers. Getting them involved, getting Italian companies to see the opportunity. Because the problem is not the sailors, the problem is not this part, it's to create the project and do it in a serious way. Sailors is never the problem.
Okay.
And even if Italy maybe lacks some offshore sailors compared to New Zealand, you don't have to have 8 Italian sailors either. If you have 4 or 5, it's great.
Okay.
And then you have 3 from some other countries, if it's a male team. And it doesn't have to. We see that even with Team Brunel, which is a Dutch project, they're going to have some non-Dutch sailors on that boat for sure. It's not a problem to me, and I think you need some leading roles. And I think there is.
And you think that Giovanni Soldini can do this man or not from the leadership point of view or not?
I cannot speak about that. but I think that to build a future in offshore sailing in Italy, I think we need. I'm a big fan myself of tapping into the new generation.
Okay.
So I think that the best is to find a group of quite young but sailors who sail today in TP52, in majors, in other classes. Also some that has some offshore experience, because
there's a lot of young guys that are doing well in the offshore.
There's young good guys in the class 40 and
for example,
mini transat, and get them together. But this is not the problem. This is not why Italy is not in the Volvo Ocean Race today. The reason why is because nobody has really formed a group and started working.
And let's talk about the onboard reporter. We are here in the cultural room of the Volvo Ocean Race in Alicante.
Well, I mean, the main reason for why we have made a change to it from what we had in the last race is to improve one particular area, and that is the storytelling. So it's not necessarily because of the quality or the capacity or the amount of coverage we can get, because we think we could take almost the same people we had last time and make a small evolution every time. But what we really want to change is the journalistic approach to how we are making the coverage, and this is not an easy task, because the person has to live in the team for a very long time. So you have to be part of the team at the same time as you are the journalist. You are not there just for one day to cover and write a story. You are there for 9 months. So for us, it's a strategic change to try to grow and build a relationship where it's easier for the person with the onboard reporter to tell a story. But to do that, you also need to know what is a good story. And we had a lot of fantastic applications. I mean, we had more people, more qualified people than I think we could dream of. And then we have to match.
How many people have you selected in the final
I think
draft?
I'm not sure. You have to ask Rick how many people there are now. But the amount of qualified people on the paper was huge. Then you have the reality, which is different, because one thing is what you can do on the paper, the other thing is living on this boat. And there's only so many people who can live on this boat for 9 months. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to live on this boat and also be happy and be part of a team, which is even more difficult. And then you have to mix these people with the different teams we have that are all different. Because we are under the maritime law, we still need to realize that the skippers need to have the ultimate word in who is on board their boat. So it's not possible for us to force the skipper to take an onboard reporter that the skipper does not want to take. Mm-hmm. Because by law, the skipper has the final responsibility on the boat. The plan we work with is that here in the control room we have a direct link with all the boats. So we have a live link with one of the Inmarsat antennas, about 124 kilobit per second live. So we stream non-stop from the boats, we can stream images, we can also stream data, and we can also use it as a normal telephone with the onboard reporter. So the person who's sitting here who's managing the onboard reporters, mostly it's Ricky Depp, there's also other people. He can be in direct contact with all these onboard reporters all the time.
All the time?
Yeah. Either chat, text, or speak on the phone. And typically we will be a kind of an update of what's happening on board based on what we know is happening in the whole race or a story we're already running. We can have a dialogue about that. And then there will be a dialogue about what is coming of content, what do we want more of, less of. If we have some media requests, for example, we can have a Chinese television station who wants to have some news from the Chinese team.
Okay.
And they want
so Rick can
you
imagine this like a chief editor in a magazine
in a moment he's like he's like a director where you have contact with all these different journalists in all these different parts of the world, and you're trying to run a show. And some of it is for one big show, which is the Volvo Ocean Race show. But we also run individual shows with individual boats.
It will be possible to have live stream not only for the final miles, or also from the middle of the ocean, Cape Horn or what?
So we had that last race as well, that we could do live stream on television. Now we're going to do a live online product as well. So there will be some live sessions online. We are talking about maybe doing 2 every day. We will see how many we do. Where we will do a live studio with all the boats, which will be for mobile platforms and online platforms. So that is one of the productions. It's mainly for the hardcore audience, because to do live in general is not easy to do for a very big audience with all the different time zones.
Yeah, of course.
But we will do a live product where we have a studio here, and then we can connect from here to all the boats at the same time, have a link with all of them. And then we can switch between which boat, ask questions, ask the same question to all the skippers. It's difficult to know everything in the future, but Volvo is very committed to this event, both as an owner and also as a sponsor. And Volvo has already now committed for quite a few years. I mean, we have already contracted more than half the ports for the 17-18 race. So we are very committed already now to 2018, which is already almost 5 years from now. And what happens after that?
But this is a very important point for the sponsor, no?
No, it's very important
to be sure to have.
It's very important for the sponsor, and it's very important for the race and for the sport to know that you have such a long-term commitment. That we will arrive in Cape Town, we will know that this race is not over. I mean, it could be that one boat has won with 200 miles because of making a good strategy, but it's not the speed difference. It's not because of the boat. It's really because of sailing well. And the next leg it can be opposite. So I think the pressure is a lot more on the race this time, while in the past the pressure was before the race. Because you knew before that if you had a faster boat in Alicante, you were in good shape.
Perfect. Okay, Knut.